incarnation of Christ and Christ coming. Galatians chapter 4, beginning at verse 4, says, when the time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under law, to redeem those under law, that we might receive the full rights of sons. Because you are sons, God sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but a son. And since you are a son, God has made you also an heir. Christ came that we might have a relationship with God. And it was God's doing. This wasn't man's plan. This wasn't even Jesus going up and saying, hey, I think I want to go down for a visit. This was God's plan before the creation of the world. That Christ would come. That he would come to be the Savior. Paul writes elsewhere in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9. For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, so that you through his poverty might become rich. That one verse encapsulates all that takes place with the nativity, with the incarnation. Christ, the very Son of glory, came to this world. He who is rich left the riches of heaven to become poor for you and I. So that through his sacrifice, through what he did, we might share the riches of glory. And then one of my favorite verses of Scripture, our pastors who have favorites. First chapter of John, verse 14. The Word became flesh and lived for a while among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. The miracle of that. God became flesh. All other religions are a matter of trying to reach or find or appease God. Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship. And it's a relationship instituted by God. Because he became flesh. He dwelt among us to know what it is we deal with. He understands temptation. He understands pain. He understands sorrow. He understands grief. He's been there. He's gone through those things. But he can relate to where we are. He can be our personal Savior. Acquainted with all those things that we deal with on a daily basis. And can offer us forgiveness when we mess up, which we do all too often. Before we begin the program portion tonight, I want to go to the Lord in prayer. We want to remember Tommy. He would have loved this. We'll do this next year. He's going to be better. He better be better. And thanks to Jeff and Jerome and anybody else who went up there to see him. Tiffany. But do be in prayer for him. He's in the hospital right now. I don't know how long he's going to be there. Hopefully they will keep him long enough to actually find out what's wrong and effect a solution to what's wrong. And not listen to him whining and complaining he wants to go home and they let him go home. He may need to stay longer than he wants to. In fact, I'm sure he doesn't want to have to stay longer than he wants to. He doesn't want to be there now. He needs to stay until they find out what's going on. We want to pray for him. We want to pray for Eric, who, does anybody know that Eric get out of the hospital?
Yes.
Yes.
He's on his way back from Iowa City around, I think, 4.
Wow. Got a new kidney a week ago, and he's already out of the hospital. God is working great things in his life. So continue to remember him in prayer also. Are there any other prayer requests? very difficult life that they had. Let's do remember him and all of our servicemen and women. Together, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, we thank you for your love, for your grace, and for your mercy. The grace that you who were rich became poor that we might become rich. You, very God, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. God, this was your plan for our salvation. Even before you began creating the world, you had this plan in mind. You have effected it so that we can have a relationship with you. We thank you for that. Let us carry that message with us during this holiday season. And Lord, you've heard the requests that have been made tonight. We know so many that have physical needs. Tommy and Greatest Girl Scout friend, and so many others, Lord. Carolyn's cousins, all these that need your touch physically. We pray, Lord, for you to be the great physician in these situations. Lord, for those who need to feel your presence because of the separation they have from family and friends during this time of year. For all of our servicemen and women, Lord, we just pray that you would be with them. Let them feel your peace and your comfort in the trying times in which they have to serve. Lord, for those who are incarcerated and their families, Lord, we just pray that you would be a blessing unto them during this time. That they would recognize and realize that forgiveness is available through you. That, Lord, that your presence can be wherever they are. No matter what the separation may be, that you can be there with them. We thank you and praise you for the work that you've done in Eric's life and ask you to continue to work in his life. Let him see the miracle that has taken place and give you praise. We ask, Lord, for this service tonight, that you allow us to have fun together. But more than that, we will hear the truth of the message, the truth of Jesus. We ask these things in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen. Of all the services I get to do all year, and I love being a pastor. That isn't true every Monday. I learned from a pastor long ago, never resign on Monday, because most Mondays you feel like it. You work all week, you pray all week, you develop a sermon all week, and you deliver it with all the passion you can, and invitation comes, and on those Sundays there doesn't seem to be a response. So never resign on Monday. So I enjoy this pastor. I really do. I'm so grateful that you guys have given me the opportunity to be your pastor. We've got some real characters here. So I fit in. But of all the services I get to do during the year, this is my most fun one. This is something that I wrote a number of years ago, and I really don't know how or where it came from. I don't know that if you guys like it, we'll credit God for it. If you don't blame God for it. But this is something that I wrote that I don't even know how to describe it. I usually call it the Reader's Theater. It's kind of dramatic storytelling. You guys will see what it is as we get into it. But this is my Christmas gift to you. And your Christmas gift is allowing me to do this because it is so much fun for me. So without any further ado, we're going to do a new Christmas carol. Marley was dead. Of that, Ichabod Crujee was certain. He delivered the eulogy at Bob Marley's funeral. He'd been one of the pallbearers, one of those who carried the last remains of his old partner and laid him in the ground. Yes, Marley was dead. And yet, Ichabod Crujee had been bothered these last several nights with dreams of his dead partner. Together they made a killing operating their finance company. They lent money to poor, desperate souls, always at high annual percentage rates. And now, with Marley gone, the quite profitable finance company belonged to Ichabod Crujee. He already had a reputation in town. Even the children called him Scroogey the Scrooge. In many corners, men referred to him as the meanest old miser in the history of money. But Ichabod didn't mind that reputation. In fact, he rather enjoyed it. Men feared him Ichabod Scrooge's fear was better than vain praise. Christmas was soon coming, which filled Ichabod with both joy and dread. Joy that this was the season his finance company made the most money, at the highest interest, where everyone wanted to buy more than they could afford, to generously give in the season of giving. Dread that he did not enjoy the joy of the season. The constant singing of the carolers gave him headaches. The bells practically drove him insane. And all the screaming, squealing children made him wish for greater population control. And the lights, the trees, the tinsel, and other decorations simply made him angry. For to Ichabod Scrooge, Christmas was just another day. And the government had made it a holiday, so his workers got a day off. This Scrooge found especially irritating, for Ichabod Scrooge didn't like days off. He didn't believe in vacations or sick days or overtime pay. He believed the person was measured by the work they produced, and none of his workers measured up. The best of the sorry lot was his chief loan officer, Tom Davidson. But at this time of year, Tom seemed to have his mind more on Christmas and celebration than on annual percentage rates and mortgages. Tom had the talent to be a first-rate financier, but sometimes he seemed too soft-hearted, too kind, too compassionate. This business required cold calculation, and there were none nearly as cold as Ichabod Scrooge. December 24th arrived, and while Ichabod Scrooge was in his office, reviewing the loans granted for the month of December, Tom Davidson walked into the office and greeted his boss. "Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge." "Bah! Humbug!" Scrooge replied. Tom was slightly startled. He'd worked for Mr. Scrooge long enough to know that he didn't celebrate the holiday, but every year his bitterly cold response to such a cheerful greeting chilled Tom to the very marrow. Tom proceeded to explain, "Sir, all the local merchants have been closing their shops, and all the other loan officers and I were wondering if maybe, sir, if we could close down a little bit early. It is Christmas Eve, sir." "Bah! Humbug! You have the whole day tomorrow to celebrate." "Sir, there haven't been any loan applications since back before noon. It's only 2 hours, sir." "Well, seeing as how all businessmen in this town lost all business sense today, and there's no reason to expect any more loan applicants, take the rest of the day off. But I expect all of you to be on time on the 26th. It's enough to have one day for your celebration." "Oh, thank you, sir. And have a Merry Christmas, sir." "Bah! Humbug!" Tom Davidson and the other loan officers cleaned their desks, left the meeting, to go home to their family and friends, to celebrate a holiday, the holy day of the Christ child's birth. Tom walked to his home, a small white frame house in an older neighborhood of town. And as he walked, he hummed, "Silent night, holy night." When he arrived home, his wife Harley greeted him with a kiss. His twin daughters, Debbie and Diane, ran to him giddy and giggly in their teenage exuberance. "Hurry, Daddy, come see what Tiny Tom made for you." "Just let me take off my coat." "No, hurry, Daddy, come on." Debbie and Diane grabbed Tom's arm and practically dragged him into the small dining room, where sat their brother, Tom Jr. Tiny Tom, as everyone called him, was sitting in his wheelchair, holding a neatly wrapped box, long and flat. Tiny Tom held it up and smiled. He said, "Mommy, help me wrap it." "Yes, dear." Tiny Tom hated it himself. Almost wasn't surprised. Open it. Tom unwrapped the box and opened it to find a hand-painted pie, bright red with a green cross, and the word Noel painted in gold glitter. "Merry Christmas, Daddy." "Merry Christmas, Tiny Tom. I'll wear this tonight for the candlelight service. Tiny Tom smiled. His joy was inspirational to all who met him. Such joy was considered by many to be remarkable, for his body was so frail. He'd been ill for his entire 7-year life. But Tiny Tom was always happy, always joyous, and especially so at Christmas time. As the Davidson family sat down to enjoy a simple meal before going to church, it was Tiny Tom who offered the blessing in his simple, inimitable way.
God bless us, everyone.
After the loan officers had departed, Ichabod Scrooge reviewed the loan approvals one final time, then closed his office for the night. As he drove his black Mercedes-Benz to his 30-room house on the hill overlooking the town, he felt a deep disgust. He could find nothing on his car stereo but Christmas carols, and he was tired of hearing them. Only one more day, and this racket will be gone for this year. He parked in front of his spacious house, an edifice that had been in the Scrooge family for 4 generations. Ichabod Scrooge slowly walked to the carved oak doors of his impressive domicile. And as he reached for the door handle, his appearance was suddenly transformed. It looked like the face of Bob Marley, his departed partner. In fright, Ichabod leaped away from the door. He stared at the door handle and saw that it was simply that, an impressive and expensive brass door handle. Scrooge exclaimed, "Humbug!" as he opened the door and entered his house. He prepared a simple, quiet meal and ate in silence. Ichabod enjoyed silence. While Ichabod Scrooge partook of his evening meal in solitude, Tom and Harley Davidson and their children, Debbie, Diane, and Tiny Tom, participated in their church's Christmas Eve candlelight service. Debbie and Diane sang in the choir and presented a vocal duet of O Little Town of Bethlehem. At the close of the service, the pastor asked Tiny Tom to dismiss them in prayer.
God bless us, everyone.
Prayed Tiny Tom. And the church said, Amen. While the Davidson family made its way home following the service, Ichabod Scrooge was preparing for bed. He felt entirely exhausted. The holidays always left him feeling exhausted. It seemed that Ichabod fell asleep as soon as his head hit his silk pillowcase. But it was a troubled sleep. He heard the rattling of chains. He smelled the stench of burning sulfur. Ichabod felt quite warm. His hazy mind suggested he get up to turn down the thermostat. Scrooge was in that place between dreaming and waking when he saw Bob Marley enter his bedroom. But Marley was dead. Of that, Ichabod Scrooge was certain. Yet here was Bob Marley, dreadlocks and all, standing in Ichabod's bedroom, standing draped in chains, appearing as a man in torment. Then Marley spoke. Change your ways, man. Change your ways, Ichabod Scrooge, or you end up like me. Each link in this chain be for sinful act in my life. And your chain, Ichabod, your chain be much longer than mine. Change your ways, Ichabod Scrooge. Change your ways, man. Change your ways, or you burn in hell. Change or burn. Tonight, 3 angels visit your mind. Pay heed to the message, Ichabod. Pay heed to the rattle of chains and the moan of a man in torment. Bob Marley faded from sight. Ichabod thought it a strange dream, perhaps caused by some improperly digested food or the increased stress of his occupation. It was certainly the most bizarre and disturbing of all his recent dreams, a real nightmare. However, it was just a dream, or so thought Ichabod Scrooge. He shook his head, muttered to himself, "Humbug." He lay back down on his pillow was as the same clock struck one, but it wasn't the chiming of the clock that woke him. He'd grown up with the chiming of the clock. What woke Ichabod was the light. A light like that of a burglar shining around his bedroom. And he called out, "Who goes there?" The light was lifted to show the face of a teenage girl with a tinsel halo over her head. And Ichabod noticed on her back cardboard wings covered with aluminum foil. She looked like the angel of countless Christmas church pageants. Ichabod thought it a strange disguise for a burglar. He shouted as he lunged at her, "Out of my house!" As his hand touched the arm of the angel, Ichabod found himself out of his house. He was suddenly standing with the Christmas passing angel in a field. It's like breeze was blowing. And Ichabod stood there in his nightshirt, surrounded by other men in similar garments, but theirs were somehow different. And each of them held a shepherd's crook. "I'm in the middle of a Christmas play," thought Scrooge. "An extremely elaborate Christmas pageant. You there, shepherd, where am I?" "They can neither see us nor hear us, Mr. Scrooge," said the young angel at his side. Suddenly the night sky was filled with bright light, and another much more impressive angel appeared. And along with the shepherds, Ichabod Scrooge was terrified. Then the angel said unto them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger." Ichabod knew those words. He'd seen a Charlie Brown Christmas on television. Now, more than ever, Scrooge was convinced he somehow had been placed in the middle of a very professional Christmas play. His angelic escort touched his arm, and suddenly the scene before his eyes changed. Ichabod found himself standing in a small, crudely constructed stable building. In the cattle's manger lay a newborn baby, peacefully sleeping. "I know this story. You don't need to go on. This is that Christmas story, but it's all fantasy. Just a lot of make-believe like Rudolph with his red nose, or Frosty the Living Snowman, or Santa Claus. Bah! Humbug!" Ichabod looked at the teen angel by his side. She shook her head sadly as a tear rolled down her cheek. She touched Scrooge's arm once again, and he found himself back in his bed, shivering, covered with cold sweat. He pulled his blankets around him tight, softly muttered, "Bah, humbug," and tried to go back to sleep. But his sleep was fitful at best. He was still tossing and turning as the grandfather clock struck 2. He drifted into sleep, but was awakened sharply as the clock struck 3, again alarmed by a light flitting around his bedroom. This time there was but a small point of light, like a birthday candle or a Christmas tree light. And as the light flew around the room, Scrooge realized it was one of those Christmas tree lights, carried by one of those Christmas tree angels, the type found at the top of many trees in many homes at this time of year. But to Ichabod, such an angel was out of place in his home, for he had no such tree. Ichabod refused to celebrate Christmas. Yet here in his own bedroom was a Christmas tree angel seemingly come to life, flying around him. Before he could speak to demand the angel leave his house, the angel's light blinked, and Scrooge found himself seated in a modern movie theater. He looked around, startled to be in such a place in his nightclothes, and he was relieved to find the theater empty, except for himself and the strange little angel. Once again, her light blinked, and the newsreel began. The words, "This present Christmas," showed upon the screen. The music, "I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day," played softly in the background. Ichabod groaned at the idea that he was to be subjected to scenes of merry celebration of the holiday he most hated. But as the words faded from the screen, scenes appeared that shocked even Ichabod Scrooge. The first was that of an army tank firing into a hospital filled with elderly crippled people. The next showed a homeless family living in a cardboard box under a highway overpass. Next, a scene of starving children came upon the screen, their eyes filled with tears as their swollen bellies were empty. Then there appeared the scene of a young Native American stumbling down a small town street, clutching a bottle of rock gut whiskey. The screen then filled with the scene of a woman in a refugee camp, swatting at flies as she cooked a pot of watered down soup. And with this, Ichabod had seen enough. He shouted, "What does this have to do with me?" The angel flew to the screen. Her light blinked yet again, and the screen filled with the words, "Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin." James 4:17. That isn't fair. Don't try to preach to me. I don't even know those people. The angel's light blinked again. New scenes began to fill the screen. Ichabod saw an elderly couple that he had evicted from their home for failure to meet a mortgage payment. Next was the scene of a man holding a sign, "Will work for food." Ichabod recalled passing the man on the street just days before. The scene then shifted to Ichabod's own office, where he watched himself berate two local clergymen who'd come to ask for a contribution to aid the local food pantry. The scene changed again to a small, white frame house in an older neighborhood of the town. The home seemed vaguely familiar to Ichabod. He saw a mother and twin teenage daughters hanging popcorn balls on the Christmas tree. I know those people from somewhere, thought Scrooge. I can't quite seem to recall them. Returning his attention to the screen, Ichabod heard a young boy singing "Joy to the World, the Lord has come" from the kitchen. A man's voice said, "Let's take the rest of the popcorn balls to Mommy." That voice Ichabod knew. The movie screen filled with a close-up of a frail, sickly little boy in a wheelchair. His father, Tom Davidson, pushed the wheelchair into the living room. Then the whole Davidson family began to sing "Away in the Manger." The tiny angel flew near Ichabod, who sat trembling in his seat. Her light blinked, and Ichabod found himself sitting on his bed, trembling. His mind was troubled. He seriously doubted he would sleep any more this night. The grandfather clock struck 4. "What was it Marley said? Did he say 3 angels? Could this be real?" Those questions repeatedly nagged Scrooge, denying him sleep. The clock struck 5. Ichabod heard a muted trumpet playing "What Child Is This?" in his hallway. The bedroom door opened, revealing a thin black man, dressed in a red silk shirt, black bell-bottom jeans, and he carried a kind of blue trumpet. "Hello, Ichabod Scrooge. Do I know you? What are you doing here?" "They call me Henry. I'm here to show you your future, Ichabod." "You? You're an angel? Surprised, are you? I've been known to have that effect on people." Gabriel raised his beautiful horn to his lips and began to play "Angels We Have Heard on High." Ichabod's bedroom disappeared, replaced by a great shining hall. At the end of the hall sat a great white throne. Seated on the throne was a being of pure light, casting no shadow whatsoever. Millions of people filled the great hall, kneeling before the throne, as subjects before a king. The being on the throne was reading aloud from a set of large books, pronouncing judgment upon each person kneeling there. "Ichabod Scrooge," called the being on the throne. And Ichabod fell to his knees. He didn't know why, but he could do nothing else. And his voice squeaked out, "Yes, Lord." "Ichabod Scrooge, I find you guilty of sinning against God sinning against man. I find you guilty of failing to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. I find you guilty of failing to love your neighbor as yourself. Since you have not accepted the sacrifice of Jesus Christ as the propitiation for your sin, I pronounce you sentenced to the second death. Gabriel cast him into the lake of fire. Ichabod turned to Gabriel. Isn't there a way to avoid this future? Isn't there something I can do? Gabriel put his trumpet to his lips and began to play, "O Come, All Ye Faithful." And Ichabod Scrooge was transported through time and space. He found himself standing on a hill. The sky above was pitch black, but he could see at the top of the hill 3 crosses. From the middle cross, he heard a voice cry out, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." Ichabod then realized and recognized the truth. The truth he had rejected his entire life. This truth suddenly became real to him. He knew that this was the Christ, the Messiah, the Savior. The stories of the baby Jesus lying in Bethlehem's manger were real. And this was the reason for the celebration of Christmas. He knew he had never been able to celebrate the holiday, for he had not known this Jesus. And he knew many people only celebrated the fantasies instead of the realities. But this Jesus was real. Ichabod Scrooge knew the truth. He knew he had lived his whole life in sin. His whole life hating God and hating people around him. He knew that God desired for him to live a new life, a changed life. And he fell to his knees and said simply, "Yes, Lord." Ichabod was barely aware that the angel Gabriel had begun again to play upon his trumpet. As the strains of Go Tell It on the Mountain filled the air, Ichabod again found himself in his bedroom, kneeling on the floor beside his bed. But Ichabod knew that his experiences of this night were far more than dreams. The grandfather clock chimed 7. And Ichabod arose from his knees and began to prepare himself to face the day, Christmas Day. At that same hour in the Davidson household, Tiny Tom and his sisters, Debbie and Diane, were awakening Tom and Harlan. It was the family's tradition to open their presents before going to church. But there were few gifts in the home. They were not a wealthy family. For the spirit of Christ's love so filled the family that their home was perhaps the most joyous in town on that Christmas morning. Or perhaps not. But elsewhere, in a stately home overlooking the town, a man was singing Christmas carols. It was the first time those songs had ever been sung in the large, ornate home. That morning, as the Davidson family sat in their usual pew and joined in the singing of "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," the church doors opened, and in walked an elderly man. As he made his way down the aisle, the murmur of voices replaced the singing. Tom looked to see what was causing such a commotion, and he saw Ichabod Scrooge. The man's face had a smile that Tom had never seen before. The pastor stood to quell the disturbance. "Welcome, Mr. Scrooge. We're glad you're here this Christmas morning." The entire congregation braced, expecting to hear the same bitter response they had so often heard from this man. But instead, the congregation heard Ichabod Scrooge proclaim, "Merry Christmas! God bless you!" And to this sentiment, Tiny Tom added,
God bless us, everyone.
From that Christmas onward, Ichabod Scrooge lived a truly changed life, a truly godly life. He gave more money to charity than did anyone else in town. He charged lower interest rates on loans than did any other lending institution in the county. Ichabod donated all the funds needed to build a new homeless shelter with a fully stocked food pantry. His giving for foreign and home missions exceeded all the other members in the church. Ichabod Scrooge was truly a changed man. so that he might live a full, long, and joyous life. Ichabod Scrooge, he came to be known as the living spirit of Christmas in the community, and he was daily heard to exclaim to all passers-by, God bless us, everyone. Oh, now you know why I get so much fun. That is just, kind of neat. Some of you I know over here got this out. I can see it here. Harlan Davidson, of course. What else would Tom Davidson's wife be named? Bob Marley, Miles Davis. It's just neat. I enjoy it. Let's stand and join hands together as best as we can. I'm glad to see so many people up here tonight. We could probably make actually something resembling the purple around the center section here. Okay, we'll make a square of this. We'll make something anyway. Please, during this next week, this is an exciting time, and I know for a lot of you it can be really just a lot of stuff going on. In all of that stuff, don't forget the real reason for the season, and share that with others. Let them see the love of Christ in you, because a lot of them, they're laughing at shopping, and they're laughing at cooking, and they're laughing at decorating. They're going to get all frustrated with all the things that don't really matter all that much. And if we can share with them God's love during this week, it can make a real impact on them. Jeff, you just